On our podcast show this week, I've had the pleasure of using a Samsung Galaxy Z Flip 4 and the Galaxy Watch 5 Pro for a few days now. And I'm going to help our co-host right here, Winston, decide whether or not he should also get them too. So let's get right into it. First of all, Samsung announced these goodies just last week, 2 weeks ago, actually, August 10th. And it didn't take me long to make that pre-order. I actually did it pretty much right after the show because I heard some amazing things that a former Galaxy Z Flip owner wanted to hear. So before I send my old phone away and trade in, we're going to do a quick review and also comparison of the two devices to see whether or not they will be a good upgrade or will they be something that you want to purchase right off the bat because they represent the best in flip phones. We're also going to take a few moments to, talk about the Galaxy Watch 5 Pro. I'm not normally a watch person, but I know that Winston is, so he'll have some comments and some questions that I know that you watch folks will want to know about. I'm going to try to answer them for you. But in the meantime, it's been a couple weeks. Winston, have there been anything other than these two devices that you've been kind of struggling with, digesting from the August 10th updates from Samsung? And are you going to be on the pre-order list before the 26th?
Well, listen, the Samsung Unpacked show was fantastic. I loved it. What the content was about and all the products. I've seen the Watch Pro. I've seen the Flip, the Z Flip 4, the Fold, and everything. So and the Buds, the Pro, right? Buds Pro 2. The fantastic products, and I love what Samsung's done. Now, listen, am I going to get it? From what I can see and what can, from the experience that you had told me and stuff like that, I could tend, I might get it. I don't know. But we'll talk more about that in the show later on. But yeah, I love the way that this year Samsung with all the new products, how they actually, really kind of like get the attention of the users, and all these new features make it really something that, it's been wild. I mean, on the internet, all of the these blogs and vlogs and all that kind of stuff, people are talking about this product, talking about the new Z Flip 4 and the Fold and all of the new products from Samsung. So I can't wait. Yeah,
myself included. I was very excited for this latest announcement. I really wanted to know if Samsung could actually push the limits. And I know another flipping phone geek, fellow geek and tech expert, Austin Evans from his channel. He's going to be he's been extremely happy with his phone, and I hope that I will be the same with mine long term. But so today we are focused on the Galaxy Z Flip 4, and we'll talk a bit more about the Galaxy Watch 5 Pro as well. Should you buy it or should you wait? We're going to cover the big reasons for and against Samsung's latest flippable phones and the watch. Hopefully what we're talking about today will help you decide whether or not you should jump right in this year. All right, so the Galaxy Z Flip 3 is an immediate conversation starter. I know myself that every time I go to Starbucks, I flip that thing out to pay for my drinks. It's always a conversation starter for me. However, I always have to end that conversation with but the battery sucks. And I hate having to do that because it feels like I've made this terrible mistake on the device that I love so much otherwise. So that's why we have to address this issue first. So from using it for the last few days, and I got my package on Friday, but I didn't actually end up setting up the phone until very late that night. I've been pushing the phone quite a bit. It's still utilizing and learning my usage patterns, so it's still optimizing for my usage. It's trying to turn things off that I need and don't need. It's still trying to figure that out. I don't have an estimated time, which you normally would get after a couple of weeks of usage. But for me, the first day and a half, I was getting about 11 hours. That's not so bad. After that, though, it started going up. So I'm up around 12 plus hours right now, from yesterday's time down to 5% before I put it on charge before I took a shower, which was incredible for me, because it's just, that's all day battery life. That shows that it can get through your entire day. And the best part is that I never had to sacrifice any options. Everything was on. Every single thing was on. NFC, 5G, everything was on. This was a no compromise rundown test of my usual day. This is something that a day that where I would be editing videos, photos, uploading to social, using multiple social channels, including some you may not even know, like Vero and Be Real, which are a couple of new up-and-coming social channels, which probably suck up a lot of battery life, but I use them all, and it's been an incredible experience.
All right. So from the old Z Flip 3, you had like literally like 6 hours or something like that, right? Like half a day. So now you're getting literally double an all-day use, which is really good, especially if you have all those apps running. What about things like with the charging, right? So you see some phones have quick charge. What about this one? Has it got quick charge on this?
Yeah, it does have a quick charge. It's basically 25 watts wired and 15 watts wireless. I don't think that's a big difference between the new phone and the old phone, to be honest. So you're charging up your entire phone from 0% to 100% in about an hour and a half. Oh. Usually, I don't let my phone run down that much. I usually will start charging my phone at about 15 to 20%, just like I would in an electric vehicle, right? So I basically start from that point, and topping up throughout the day is not a big deal. I would normally, like, let's just say that I've done the workout and I want to jump in the shower. I put the phone on for 20, 30 minutes. I'm getting, like a good 20, 30% back into the phone before it gets up into the higher ranges of its power storage. So I think that, like overall, it charges quickly. Is reasonable. It's not like it's super fast like the One Pluses, which will charge at 65 watts for like a certain period of time.
Wow.
But it is fast.
Okay.
It works very well with the charging pad. I noticed that on the Galaxy Z Flip 3, it did get a little warm, and we'll talk a little bit about that later on as well too, and why that happens. But like on this phone, it also runs a lot cooler, so it's getting a lot faster charge on the pad. You're looking at about 2 hours to get it to 100% on the pad, so, which is not bad.
In terms of specs, the Zip 3, how many milliwatts of power versus the new Flip 4?
So what they did is that in the Z Flip 3, they packed in a 3,300 milliamp hour battery, which is the same battery that they put in the first gen, the second gen, the third gen.
All right.
It was the same battery, right? So all the way through from 1, 2, and then to 3, it was the same size battery.
Right.
And that was clearly woefully...
Wasn't enough.
It wasn't enough.
Especially
it was woefully
with
underpowered.
Processing power, right, with the new chips. Okay.
Yeah. And so the new chip and the new battery, because they've redesigned the hinge to give the internal space on both sides of the phone a little bit more access to a few more milliamp hours, because again, on the Z Flip 3 and the Z Flip 4, the battery is split into two pieces, right?
Yeah,
there's one on this side and there's one on this side. It's connected by a ribbon, right? So how they were able to do that is they actually put bigger batteries on both sides.
Right.
And they were able to increase the battery life from 3,300 milliamp hour to 3,700 milliamp hour in the Galaxy Z Flip 4. So I'll park these two side by side. Which one do you think is the Z Flip and the Z Flip 4? Just by the hinge. Let me try to bring this up over here.
I'm guessing the one on the left, is it?
This guy or this guy?
That guy, yeah.
This guy?
Yeah, is that?
You'd be wrong, because it's very difficult to tell them apart when they're in cases. But I'm going to try to bring this a little bit closer for you. The hinge has less of a bump.
Oh, I
know
see.
This is going to be very difficult. Yeah.
Yeah.
So one's flatter.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's flatter. Yeah. I see the one on the right is flatter. Yeah, that one.
It's flatter. So that's giving Samsung the ability to cram a 200 milliamp hour per side bigger battery on each side. It's making a huge difference.
So it's
right? It's making
3700, right?
37.
Okay.
Now, to give you context, the Galaxy Z Fold 4, which unfortunately I didn't purchase, and I would not be owning one of those because for me, it's not quite the right phone for me.
Is it?
But that phone has a 4,400 milliamp hour battery powering 3 full-size
screens
displays.
Wow.
So considering how much power they packed into this, they've added a Qualcomm Snapdragon, 8th Gen, Gen Gen 1 processor, which is the more energy efficient version of it, because the 8 was launched earlier on. The 8 Plus just adds more efficiency overall. It's a little bit less power hungry. Combined with that battery, my God. I never thought that they would do so much damage so soon, but this is a practical, everyday use by battery life smartphone that fits pretty much anywhere.
Yeah.
So if you wear any clothing that has tight fitting pockets like exercise wear, or you have cargo pockets that are more discreet and you don't want to shove a smartphone in there, or, and this is one of my pet peeves, you have pockets that are zippered.
Yeah.
But you put your full-size phone inside and it just kind of fits, but now you're prying the zipper, so it starts to split and it breaks your pants.
Yeah.
That sucks. This will not do that to you. I love the form factor. And I tried to use a normal phone a couple weeks ago when my Z Flip 3 was in for a screen protector service, because they needed to replace it at the factory. You can't just put anything on. And that's going to go the same for the Z Flip 4. And hopefully we'll have a long-term answer on whether or not the new screen protector is better on this. But I tried to put that thing in my pocket. I couldn't.
Yeah.
I just I didn't like the way it felt anymore because it's so tiny.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you whether your old Z Flip 3 case is compatible with the the Flip 4. It's not.
Good
right?
question. Excellent question. So can I use my Z Flip 3 case? Well, I did try to do that, actually. These two cases are made by the same manufacturer. They're both made by Spigen. It's one of my favorite manufacturers. They're Korean. They get all the molds in advance. They make the case. It's like perfect fit. So I tried to use the Z Flip 3 case with the Z Flip 4. All right. Pros and cons. Yes, it works. It fits. The problem is that because the new Z Flip 4 is a little bit more sculpted, it started to slide. I like to do this with my phone. You know, I like to flip. It's a little bit tight right now, right? It's a little bit tight. I'm gonna break it in, but I like doing this. Okay, and the top kept flying off. Right. So not a good thing with your phone, right? Not a good thing with your phone.
What that means is actually smaller than the Flip 3. Then
it's a little bit looser, but in the wrong places. You see, what happened is that I looked inside the phone, and because this is so well printed and everything like that,
it's fitted.
Yeah, the hinges, the fittings were actually, I guess, it was just too tall because of the sculpting. So it would actually didn't fit inside the case and contacted the adhesive pads. So it never worked properly. It never grabbed onto anything. So it just kept loosening up in my pants. So I had to buy a new case. It's fine. I wish it didn't because they're almost identical. But having said that, though, if you have a less tight fitting case, like these are built specifically for this phone and they don't move, but if you have like a generic case that just basically snaps on, you're probably okay. I would probably say that you're
I mean, Stephen, I mean, that's fine. I mean, if you look at iPhone from X to 11 to 12 to 13 and upcoming 14, they're all different cases. There's no one case that will fit all of them. And when you get a new phone, it's a new case. It's a pain in the ass. But again, I think that's fine for the Samsung Fold because the reason why is it's a smaller phone. The bezels are bigger and it's a smaller hinge. And you need that newer case to get all those fitted nicely because it's snagging all everything. Because otherwise, you know, you say if you flip your phone with the one single flip with your hand, the key, like you said, the case flies off, right? And all that kind of stuff. Another question I want to ask you is, one of the side has the touch screen, kind of what they call them. It's the
cover display.
Cover display, yeah. So you got the little
cover display
information on that comes up. I want to talk to you a little bit about that later. But what about the NFC part where you do the credit card payments? Like, is it on this side or the other side? When you hold the phone, pay stuff.
It's actually when you unfold it, it's somewhere in here.
So it's on the other side, right? So okay. So you're holding the phone with the display. You just so it's not the other way. Okay, I got you.
Yeah.
So the display side is always up for payment. Okay, great.
Well, it's weird. I think this is where the coil is for the Qi.
Yeah.
And this is where the NFC is. So
All right.
technically speaking, I never pay for my anything without this being down all the way because I want to see the Google Wallet come up. So I always see it on this side. So I always open up the phone before I pay.
Oh, right. Okay. I get you.
Yeah.
Some people just they have it closed and pay anyway, right? You could do that. You don't have to open the phone.
I haven't had much success with that. I don't know why it doesn't work right. It could be just provider basis, but I've never actually been able to pay. Actually,
with it closed.
Let me try it. Let me try this phone specifically. I've never used the Z Flip 3 for that, but let me try this.
Yeah. With it closed, pay for it, right, and find out, because that's one of the things I like. If that's one of the features, I am going for it, because the whole point is, why do you want to open the phone to pay for it? Right, you want it all clammed up like that, all compact. Then you just put it onto the payment pad, and then
that's a good question, and I think it has something to do with this. Google Wallet isn't actually a widget in the cover display. It's not there.
All right.
But Samsung Pay, I think, is a cover widget.
Oh, so
item.
Samsung Pay
so
might work.
It might be a
then.
Samsung Pay thing. It could be.
Okay.
I don't have Samsung Pay set up for that because I use mainly Google Wallet.
Yeah.
But that's a good question. So the question basically is, can you pay for things with this device closed?
Yes.
When it's not Google Wallet.
That's
I'll
right.
test that for you. I'll find out.
Yeah, find out. That'd be interesting, because if that's a yes, you could do that. I probably will go for it, because I love the way you could just go pay all closed up.
I hear you, because if somehow and like it's not one of the widgets, right? So I can't actually add it as a widget for that. But I've noticed that like Samsung Pay could actually be on here. It could be compatible with this cover display. I think that might be the technical reason why it doesn't work, because you always have to have your phone wide open when you're using Google Wallet. So it seems to be that kind of stipulation that you got to open it up. You have to use it on the big screen. If they somehow added a Google Wallet widget in here and activated it, then I think that might be the key.
So tell me,
keep you posted on that.
So tell me more about that little widget thing on the screen thing. So a lot of people probably don't understand what this display thing's up front, right? They probably think it's just music or name of we listen to music. Maybe it tells you the time. But it's got more functions than that, right? So tell me more about the functionality of that little touch screen thing in the front.
Well, my favorite thing is triaging messages, right? Triaging notifications. So the display itself, it's unchanged. It's still the same 1.97-inch display. Same great colors and everything like that. Works great.
Right.
You can put animations in here and everything. I don't know if anyone's put a Tamagotchi in here. I would love to see if they do that. Then I have to keep feeding them. That would be hilarious. But then I would run out of battery life real quick, because then I would keep feeding them. But anyhow, I think that one of the key features about this display is that you don't have to flip open your phone when you see a call come in. So call display is here.
Okay.
You can see your calendars at a glance. You can see your text messages. You can open them up to see if it's someone that you want to talk to. You have privacy capabilities just like you would on your cover screen on your smartphone, where you can either expose the first line or not expose the first line. So you can turn those things on in here. But what I normally use this device for mainly is to actually frame myself for a photo.
Right. So you can see your...
That's usually what I use it for.
Right, yeah, self-view kind of thing, right.
Exactly.
Okay.
So one of the new things that they've done on here, and this is a software thing, I think it's coming to the Galaxy Z Flip 3 as well too, is that before you could only see your eyes if you're doing a portrait, because it would always be in landscape mode.
Right.
Yep. So now there's a feature built into it in software where it will actually flip it. Now I know you can't see yourself because this is so tiny. But the fact that it flips up and you can at least see roughly where you are in that frame,
you're in the frame,
is good enough for me.
Yeah. So you make sure you're in the frame.
Exactly. And then one of the things that I love to get this thing to actually take your photo is that all you need to do to get it to activate when you're using the best cameras on your phone, because now you're no longer using your selfie camera, is that you just have to put your palm up.
Oh, so it's got the gesture recognition, all that kind of stuff. Okay.
So that gesture is one of my favorites. So you set it to a 3-second timer, because you don't want to go up and then just kind of pose.
Right.
You set your 3-second timer and it takes your photo.
Okay.
And that's one of the better features. It recognizes a little bit better and speedier on this, possibly due to the new processor. I'm not sure, but it does seem to work a little bit better, a little bit snappier, and a little bit more responsive to my gesture.
Excellent.
Now.
Excellent. Okay.
So that part's improved. Again, if we're talking cameras here, it does still use two 12 megapixel cameras on the back here.
Right.
It still uses a 10 megapixel on the screen, the little the dot the under display camera.
Yeah.
But these two 12 megapixel cameras, if you look at the original, here, let me just fold this up for clarity. These two cameras on the original, this is the Z Flip 3.
Yeah.
I can scrape my fingernails across. There's barely any bump.
It's kind of flat, right?
Almost flat.
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. This one here,
slightly
they
raised.
stick up at least a millimeter.
Slightly raised.
They're raised.
Kind of bumped out. Okay. Now tell me, does it still have? Because one of the things that you mentioned about the Flip 3 was that it didn't have a telescopic zoom lens. What about this one, the Flip 4?
No. You're not going to get that. That's the third camera. If this had three cameras, that would be there. And I don't see them being able to do that unless they push this down further.
Right. But the Fold,
because
the Fold has it, but not this one, not the Flip.
The Fold has it.
Okay.
That's right.
All right.
So the Fold adds a 50 megapixel and then like I think it's a 12 telephoto. Mm-hmm. This one still has an ultra wide and a wide.
All right.
Two main cameras. Both cameras are upgraded. That's why they stick out the way they do.
Yeah.
So they now offer up to 65% better low light performance. Now, in real world, it's visibly noticeable.
Yeah, that's more than enough, I think.
But I wouldn't put a number on it.
Right.
But it's like you can tell the difference. So if you're looking for a phone for parties where you can just pull it out of your purse or your man purse or your like what do they call those things? The footballers, they wear them nowadays. Fanny packs. Oh, fanny is a bad word in the UK. My bad. Shoulder bag.
We call them bum bags.
What are they called?
We call them bum bags.
Bum bag. Okay. Bum bag.
Bum bag.
So you have one of the bum bags. And then you pull this out, this would be good for that. Yeah.
Man purse.
I can see that happen. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. Sorry about Fanny. My bad. I said it again.
That's cool.
I know it's a lady part.
That's cool. That's cool. But so the lens, so the new camera has a bigger lens. I'm sure a bigger lens, right? And 12 megapixels. So
bigger sensor.
Bigger sensor, and they call it. What do they call it? A smart. They call it a smart cam. Or is it a Flexcam, they call it? A Flexcam?
Oh, this is another feature.
Oh,
now,
another feature, okay.
Keep in mind, though, like Flexcam is basically turning your phone, and this is, both of these cameras actually, both of these flips have this feature.
Right.
So, but I'm going to show it on this one because this one's no pattern. So this is a function where when you flip it open, you remember how those camcorders are like this?
Yeah, I remember them.
So you can actually have an eye on the action instead of hiding behind your screen because there's a lag, right?
Yeah.
So if you're filming action or if you're on your snowboard or your skateboard, this is a really great way. Your thumb gravitates towards the record button. So I'm going to show you real quick. So you see this?
Right.
Your thumb is actually in the right spot for that.
Oh.
That's the record button, right?
So you just press it. To record.
Just press it, and now you can go like that.
Yeah.
Now, the cool thing is that in the new software, you used to only be able to do this.
Right.
16:9.
Yeah.
But you can actually change the aspect ratio now. So you could go...
Oh, you can do portrait and other things? Portrait.
You can do social media.
Social media. Yeah.
Yeah, so you can record like this. So you see how handy that is to be able to record snowboarding in the right format. So you get all the pixels that you need. When you upload it to Instagram, it doesn't look weird.
Yeah.
You can also do a 1-to-1 square as well, too, if you're into the square videos. But this is more your stories, your reels and everything like that recorded this way. It makes a lot of sense to be able to record this way while keeping an eye on the action in real time. So you know that you've seen it.
Right.
You can compose your shot a lot better. This is much better than having an iPad at a concert where you're covering up everyone's scene. You can actually enjoy the show.
All right. So with that, is it compatible with the lefty? Left-handed?
Let's find out. So I'm gonna here. This is live, not live, but pre-recorded. And it flipped upside down.
But you're still getting the full view. Not it's flipped upside down, but it's still as if it was left. Okay, so it's good for left-handed.
Left or right.
Left-handed. See, that's really good. That's really good.
It flips.
Yeah, excellent.
So left-handers. So usually creators are left brained, so maybe someone thought of, hey, what about the left brain people? No problem. The thumb still articulates correctly to the record button. You can still do all the things. It still has all the same modes. Everything flipped correctly to the right spot. Optical image stabilization is still in this camera.
Oh, nice.
Fantastic.
Yeah, that's one thing I wanted to ask you.
Yeah.
So has optical image
That's right.
stabilization? That means if you're
Yes.
running around, if you're following someone on a bike, you're jogging, it has that as well. Okay, cool.
Yeah. Now, keep in mind, though, if you are using it on a tripod or something like that, you do want to turn it off because it will introduce some jitter because it can't figure out what's going on. So turn it off when it's on a tripod. When you're running around, turn it back on for the best possible, sharpest image. And you can do both.
Right.
So you have the option to create in either way. There you go.
All right.
You can also record 22:9 as well. So this is 16:9 right now. You can use the entire screen to record. This is something that was on the original camera, but hey, you know what? There
You get the full, super wide screen.
Yeah, super wide screen right there.
Nice.
No problem.
Okay.
No problem.
All right. And the other thing, compared to the Flip 3 versus the Flip 4, that little hinge, and you've got the touch screen, okay? So is it seamless? Like you said, the Flip 3 had a slight kind of groove, but what about the Flip 4?
Oh, that's very important. Yeah. So we learned from Samsung, and they did spit on the Z Flip 4, but on the Z Flip, on the Z Fold, they mentioned a new technology where they replaced two metal plates on their original screen design. So I'm going to try to, this is going to be very difficult to show, but if I can get in just in the light here, you can see that the hinge is right there, right?
Yeah,
it's very difficult to see, but you can see that bump.
A little bump, yeah. Is that the Flip 3?
This is the Flip 3. I always noticed it was there, but I didn't actually realize that it was there after a while because it just, for my thumb, it was a reference point. So it never really bothered me because I actually used it as part of the phone's design.
Right.
This year, however, what happened is that the two metal plates that are under here, the cushioning for tactile feel and everything like that, they've made it thinner by removing the metal plates, and they've actually integrated the stiffness of the display into the digitizer that's underneath the screen.
Right.
So it's actually made it thinner. So in the new screen.
So now compared to this one, it's
lesser.
It's literally
it's flatter.
Less, yeah. It's flatter. It's less of the little.
It's flatter.
There's not. Yeah. Noticeable.
Yeah,
Definitely.
like you can tell. This is noticeable. This is not as noticeable if you don't look at it correctly in the right light. Yeah. But definitely a major difference. Visible difference.
The screen protector, which is from Samsung, from the Flip 3, also provided on the Flip 4.
Now, this is where we don't know enough information.
Right.
This screen protector, this is the new one.
Because
I can tell by the color that I got it. This is the old one. Now, what happened about just over a month and a half ago? This is like a month and a half before the 1 year anniversary of this phone. It started to peel at the seam. Right here. Now, it could be that because we're in Canada, it gets freezing and then it gets hot, but it started to peel off. It started to crack. So I don't know if they've improved the new one in any way, but I'm willing to give it a chance that maybe they have. What they did tell me at the Samsung store is that whatever material that they provided in the newer phones, few, if any, customers have come back for a replacement on it. So hopefully this new material that they put on this phone is going to last Canadian winter.
I think a lot of people
But here's another good shot. You can see the seam.
Two things that people are concerned is the battery life and also the screen. Because if it's a foldable screen, that's the one thing they worry about. And if Samsung address those 2 points, then it should be fine. Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Screen protector is not actually the screen. It's very important to make that distinction. Is that even if this phone was out of warranty, I could put on my own screen protector and use it. Like those guys from what are they called? Invisible Shield. They make a protector for this. They do. You can put it on if you want. It's just it's not as good or seamless as the one that comes from Samsung.
Right.
But it works. You can do that if you want. It's just Samsung prefers that you put theirs on, and I think it's part of their ongoing R&D efforts to figure out what materials work the best. So they're getting a bunch of this material A back from, and they're probably sending out different samples to all their different regions to see what works and what doesn't, right? I mean, Samsung's a huge company with huge engineering resources, so they probably have marked batches everywhere to say, okay, these came back, these did not, let's go with this batch.
Right. Yeah, definitely. So now you got the Flexcam, you got the better camera and everything.
Yep.
And also, you could do portrait. So it's really designed.
Yes.
The whole thing with the software and everything is going to be really suitable for content creators, TikTokers, anyone to do reels.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I think that's one thing that Samsung have really kind of marketed these products for the digital creator, the content creator,
totally,
and things like that. So, with all those apps and all those processing power, especially you need for video and everything, tell us a little bit more about performance versus the Flip 3. Tell me how it compares.
Well, I can tell you right off the bat that it's been quite hot recently, and because of the heat, this phone would used to heat up in my pocket. It would actually get hot. Right, yeah, so the Flip 3 would used to get hot, really hot. And that would have a negative impact on its battery life as well, too. So the two things together was not a good combination.
Yeah.
This does not get hot. This actually, because of its better, more efficient processor, it's actually been a huge benefit to its operational range. The other thing that I absolutely love about it is how snappy the new processor is as well too. So in cases where it's changing the UI from the Flip UI and back and forth and everything like that, there is a noticeable snappiness to this phone that is not there with this. And I think it just has to do with the fact that it could be temperature related. During the winter, I didn't notice it as much, so it could definitely be that. But then you're now dealing with bad battery life. So so by then it's like, this thing's dead. I have to plug it in. This thing, oh hey, this is pretty good.
Right.
So I'm enjoying this a lot more.
Okay, so performance with a more efficient processing.
Yeah.
What about the graphics, the graphical interface? Have you noticed anything like? The icons, are they the same at the screen?
Oh no, everything's identical. Like the One UI 4.1 something, whatever the latest One UI is they're the same. Like it's the same One UI.
Right.
Everything's similar to me. It works the same to me. It's hard to tell them apart. So that's a good thing. Now you have an apples to apples comparison as to interface snappiness, as to apps and loading times and everything. What I am looking for though is Samsung mentioned is that they're partnering with Facebook and Instagram and also WhatsApp, so Meta. All their apps will be optimized for this interface. I don't know how much faster they can make those apps because they're already pretty darn fast to begin with. So if they're adding new features, if they're adding things that we could take advantage of, like the new Instagram hands-free, I think Instagram hands-free, so you can just basically start. That would be kind of cool as well too, to use those different features for creators to actually do something new. They've also started beta testing on Instagram. I don't know if you've noticed this, but there's a small company called Be Real, and what they do is they just basically at certain random times of the day have you post a photo of whatever you're doing. Well, Instagram is also testing that as well too. So I don't know, like maybe they're going to find a way for this thing to just turn on and hey, take a photo of whatever you're doing. Oh crap. What's going on?
Something like remote control.
And maybe that's a new thing.
All right.
Maybe, right?
Yeah. So the Facebook's apps, I noticed that they're quite slow anyway. So imagine if you were able to have a more kind of fast experience on the phone. Whether it's recording, whether it's posting stuff. I think a lot of people do take photos and they add filters, whether it's on the in-app and things like that. So with that, I think photo manipulation apps and things like that, I think that it's made for it, really. I mean, you got the...
I'm glad you brought that up because it's very fast on this phone. Whatever optimizations that they've done to Lightroom, I've noticed specifically that particular app is noticeably quicker and snappier on this phone as opposed to this one. So whatever they've done in terms of optimizations for the new Qualcomm Snapdragon 8 Plus Gen 1 processor, and also the special version of Lightroom that runs on Samsung Galaxy devices, has been a huge benefit. I also noticed that when you're rendering videos or you're stitching things together on this particular phone, especially inside the Instagram, where you're creating the reels with their own editor, it's also a lot quicker as well to render, and also have like there used to be this weird delay and stutter where you're trying to wait for a clip to kind of render and then go back in the timeline. You can preview that. Doesn't seem to be here, but again, it could be temperature related as well too, because it has been very hot lately. So I didn't really notice that previously in colder months. So, but the fact that this keeps running at 100% all day long with awesome battery life. I mean, we mentioned, and we were kind of laughing about this when we were listening to the Samsung Unpacked event, when they said it was up to 19 hours of mixed use. Well, you know what? You're getting pretty close.
You're getting like 12, or possibly by the time it's finished optimizing, 13 or 14 hours, right? Possibly.
Yeah, it's at least 2/3 so far out of the box, and if they can give me another 20-30%, I'm laughing. I mean, compared to the Z Flip 3, which, to be quite honest, at 9 o'clock, and to have it die at like 3 o'clock in the afternoon is really
annoying.
It sucks. And I have this, and you know what? I don't think I mentioned this specifically, but I had to turn off 5G. I had to turn to battery saving mode.
Yeah, that's a lot of people don't realize when you have 5G switched on, and wherever there's if you're in an area where there's no 5G, your 5G that part of the phone is actually actively searching for 5G, therefore using more battery life. So if you're getting like 5G signal which is weak, turn it off, go to 4G. This is one of my advice anyway. So but yeah, you're right.
So here's why this phone is so great. The Z Flip, the Z Flip 4, Z Flip 4, depending on where you're speaking the language, everything is on, and I have to state that again. Every single thing in this
it's all
phone
running in the background.
on.
All the apps,
all running.
Notifications, all the
everything,
wireless and everything.
I have not been nice to this phone. I
brutally
set it up. I brutalized it exactly the same as I did this phone. This phone does not last.
You give it some abuse.
This phone does last.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
And to be perfect, and also I can tell you straight off the bat that it's not the battery life. It's not that it's wearing down. I had this battery tested at the Samsung store when I got the screen covered, the thing replaced. They did a full diagnostic test using their software, and they said that the battery health was still at 100%. So this battery was woefully underpowered for this device.
Right, because you mentioned Gen 1, Gen 2, and Gen 3 uses the same capacity size of the battery, whereas over the generations, more powerful processors, therefore sucking up more the juice. Okay, get you. Tell me more about the apps that people use a lot of, such as, for example, emails, whether it's Office, the Google Sheets and Google Drive, that kind of stuff, because that's what a lot of people use, right? So tell me how the performance is like on those apps.
Okay, so I haven't had a chance to use a lot of the Office types apps, except for, with the exception of, opening up Word documents, PDFs, sheets and whatnot. I can actually split the screen between the two, which is fantastic. So I can cut and paste between two different things. So I can actually split that view.
Oh, nice.
I would show you here, but then I would be opening up, spreadsheets. But I can have Word up top.
Right.
And I have Excel sheet at the bottom. I can paste back and forth. I can also have a PDF open and paste things down into a Word document. Nice. So these features actually are here. They do work.
Excellent.
They're great. So I really do like the way that this all works. Hi, Rafina. You're on my podcast now. So I really like the way that this works. And I really enjoy the ability to have YouTube up top and then something else on the bottom that I'm working on typing.
That's right. I mean, you could be watching YouTube or even like listening to a podcast, whatever, or Spotify's on. And then you could, because I mean, it's able to do multiple things at the time, right? Like multitasking.
Yes.
And although the iPhone,
it's quicker on this phone too.
Yeah, that's cool. Because when my brother's got the Fold 3, he's got the old version, right? And he's able to split four apps simultaneously on his big screen because it's like a massive Fold, right?
It's great.
And I'm thinking, what? He's listening to Spotify and he's watching YouTube, and then he's got this other Facebook on, and he's got like Instagram or something like that. Everything's like on. I think, oh my God. But it's good though, because you're able to see all things happening, and then like you switch over, because sometimes you go off. I don't know about you on the Android phone. On the iPhone, I'm watching YouTube, right? I've got this YouTube screen running, watching YouTube, and then suddenly a phone call comes in, and I have to answer it. So I have to answer the phone call, or maybe a text message. Yeah, text message comes in like from WhatsApp. I look at the WhatsApp message, then my YouTube closes. When it closes, I open my YouTube back up, but it's not on the same. It's not on that video. It's gone. I have to load it up again. You get me?
Yes.
Whereas now you can answer your text from WhatsApp and continue watching. You don't have to pause it or close the screen. And this is something that
I just drag it right down.
This is something that iPhone can't do, the multiple screen multitasking.
It doesn't have the permissions to be able to utilize the UI in such a way because it is a rigid structure. It is walled garden. So all those apps, they either need to be native to be able to do that, or they need to have some special permissions from Apple to do that. So in this case, YouTube would never have that access because it's not a native app. You could have Safari and also Keynote running at the same time potentially, but I don't see them allowing that access to other apps unless it's something that they want to bring down the security level to do that.
That's one thing I don't like about Apple, is like they just force feed you what they think is what you need, but hey, I want something else. And again,
I do find it very useful though. So for those of you that are, like working from home or working from a cabin somewhere, but you don't want to be home, you can travel with the phone and continue with your calls. If you use Samsung earbuds like the Galaxy Buds 2 Pro, which are the brand new ones, or you have the original crappier Galaxy Buds 2, which I hate, you can actually use them for your notes down below. And then you can have your conference call at the top with all of the heads up there, so you can scroll back and forth to see who's in the call. So, these things are things that devices in the past could not do adequately. The fact that you can actually have this split in half and you can pay attention to your colleagues and also pull up new information on a handheld device that's this big, you can see their faces at the same time without switching away or switching your gaze, is very powerful stuff. It's stuff that, like in this, pandemic era where we're just starting to see the light at the end of the tunnel and people are adopting these new ways of working for better productivity. It's great to see a device that actually embraces that.
Hey, Stephen, one of the things I found out with, especially these days with the two-factor authentication, you've seen those authenticated apps from Google as well from Microsoft. I have to switch between those apps to copy the paste those code. When I come out of it, it asks me for my PIN number. By the time I go in my PIN number, 30 seconds, it's like gone, right? And think, oh god, I got to do that, waiting for the PIN change code to change again. But with this style, you can have the authenticated app running on one side of the phone, and then the actual app which you authenticate open. So you just copy and paste it, right? I don't have to switch. Because as soon as you switch apps, it'll ask you for the PIN number. So, that's one I like about that, the PIN authentication. You can open up. It's so easy to do.
That's one way to do it. Yeah, that's definitely one way to do it. The other way to do it is that because the Messages app, even though it's not as cool as iMessage, is that it does flip down in the shade. You can actually copy the number, and you can actually paste it directly into the app. And some apps will automatically allow you to go forward with that number as soon as it's pasted in. It knows the text messaging app is in there. I don't know if iOS apps do that or have those types of permissions, but I know that in this phone, all those permissions are open, and they switch and they allow other apps to just read that text message immediately.
Right.
Not sure if that's another thing, but I do take that for granted. So maybe on other mobile operating systems, you don't have that type of permissioning. It would come in handy for sure.
Yeah. Oh, well, definitely come in handy, especially when you're copy and pasting crypto addresses, mate. Oh my God.
So those hash keys. Those you would not be allowed to do. So maybe that's one case where it's like, that would be very handy. You would actually allow you to have both panes open for security purposes. They're technically two apps running separately, but they share the same clipboard. You can clipboard in from one to the other. So yeah, for sure. And people are going to find different ways to actually gain efficiencies, use it in other ways, and hopefully we can share those tips and tricks down below in the comments. Whenever you guys have anything to say, please do.
Yeah, I mean, from what you described, your user experience on the Flip 4, I mean, it sounds fantastic. Better battery life, bigger screen because of the special hinge, snappier, and with all those great features. The question is now, should you upgrade to a Galaxy Z Flip 4? Tell us.
Look, there's gonna be okay. First of all, let's break this into two parts.
All right.
If you're someone that already has a Galaxy Z Flip 3 and you don't find the battery life to be off-putting, don't upgrade. It's not worth the money. Seriously, it's not worth it for you. If you don't have any power issues, if you don't have to find yourself running to an outlet to plug in, don't get the Z Flip 4. However, if you're like me, you use this thing, you beat it up, you are always reaching for an outlet past 2 o'clock because you know it's going to die, or you drive in your car and you use Android Auto and you still can't figure out why this thing doesn't have enough battery life, get the Z Flip 4 just to have peace of mind that before you have to plug in at 2 o'clock. This phone, most nights, I'm not even worried until at least 8 or 9 o'clock at night right now. I am so happy with the way that this performs. And this is that's just down to 5 to 15%, right? There's still plenty of life there. I could still turn it to battery saving mode, and I haven't even done that yet.
Yeah, you could.
I could still.
Yeah. And
I haven't done that. I've been trying to make sure that I give everyone out there that's listening to this podcast, that's listening to Winston's questions, as much of a real world kind of fail-safe kind of detriment, what would happen if this thing died scenario. It has not died. I still have the ability to turn on power saving mode, which would probably extend my 15%, 10% for another hour or two, right? Honestly, it's okay, guys. This is awesome battery life.
Yeah, Stephen, not everybody's on the 5G plan. So, even if you haven't got it's like 4G. If you have 4G, that even saves you more power on the phone.
Yeah.
So again,
I am on the 5G plan.
Yeah.
On both phones, I was using a 5G plan. The fact that I could turn it off on this thing saved a lot of power.
Yeah.
This is the 3, right?
Yeah.
But this chipset, whatever they did to it, the Qualcomm Snapdragon 8 Plus Gen 1, whatever they did to the 5G efficiency to this, and overall, it's been awesome. And I've been getting those speeds when needed. And it's been fantastic. I really enjoy the mobile experience on this more so than I have on this one as well too. When you get into a zone where there is real 5G there and it picks it up, it really is faster.
Yeah, you know about the Asian people, they don't like the number 4.
Oh. I call BS. This is the best flip that you can buy. Seriously.
Yeah.
This might be the 4. It might be the death of me. But oh wait, no. You know what?
Well,
the battery at least will not die.
That's true. That's true. That is true.
Because it's
you're getting a 12-hour.
No
12-hour battery is something that even for an iPhone. You know what? This morning, I woke up 8 o'clock, whatever, had breakfast, did a thing around with my brother, and then had lunch. And by 4 p.m. But my phone's dead. 4 p.m. Now I was up at 8, so it's a good 8 hours, and that's it on my iPhone. That's it, 8 hours max.
Yeah,
dead.
I'm impressed. This has no business being Look at the Pixel phones. Most of them haven't even been lasting that long, and the batteries in them are comparable to this.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah,
unbelievable. This is fun to have a phone that flips this small, that does all these things. Last that
one
long.
more thing about the phone. So of course, no, it's my wallet. It's not my flip phone. It's my wallet. Imagine. So if the call comes in, you see the display, right? So who's the caller ID and stuff like that. So I open the flip. Can I answer the call right away, or do I have to press answer?
You can do that. You have to set it up in the settings. Right. I know that's annoying, but some people just don't want that because you want to screen the call.
Yeah.
So if you were to flip it open and have that, then you could use the outer display to screen your call.
Yeah.
That's a possibility.
Yeah.
But once you flip it open, and this is kind of...
Is it by
and maybe the
default?
phone's already open?
Is it default by opening and you answer the call?
No.
All right. You can set it up in the settings.
I actually... I think you had set it up in the settings because they don't want you to. Hey, I wonder who this is. Oh, it's the IRS. Oh crap!
So when you close the phone like that, it'll end the call.
It will end the call.
Right. Okay, cool. All right.
Yeah. Okay. Bye.
Hey Stephen, thanks for the insight on your experience of the Flip 4. I mean, I love it. It sounds fantastic. The features and everything. It literally, like, probably I will consider possibly saving some money to get it because I missed out on the pre-order, right? Because just quickly tell us about the deal that you had on the pre-order. Yeah.
Okay, so there are a couple deals floating around, but the main deal that Samsung had for people that, and this is a two-parter. Samsung normally, when you register for their Samsung Impact events, they will provide you with a coupon code at the end of some amounts. This year, what they did was that the coupon code was $100 towards any purchase on the Samsung store, minimum $150. So what you could do is you could apply that to the phone, which was already $1,400.
Right.
But that's not enough. That's not enough. Of course it's not enough. What Samsung did this year was, in order to get me into this phone, they gave me $379 in trade-in for my original Z Flip 3. That's not enough, right? I would never sell it for that.
Okay.
So they added another $300.
What?
So $679 in trade-in credit for my original phone. That's basically half back.
Yeah.
Right? And for the new phone, they took, like this one was 256 gigabyte, right? So it's a decent phone, right?
Yeah.
If you bought any size phone, 128, 256, 512, which is the top end one this year, if you bought the 256, they would upgrade you directly to the 512.
So they upgrade you
for free.
For free. Up to 512, upgrade it for free.
Yep.
And literally get that phone for half price if you trade in a phone.
Yep.
Oh, wow. The hell?
Yeah. So keep in mind, this is a Canadian offer. It might be different where you are. I heard that in the US, they're offering up to $900 for your original phone, but I'm not 100% sure about that. They might not even be offering this double memory discount that we get in Canada. So that was a good thing for me. So now this is a 512 gigabyte smartphone that I can create with and have all my files stored on there. It's incredible, right? So, but that's not the rest of it. And this is getting into the second section of our. So this is part of the phone part, right? Yeah. You also get a Samsung Care warranty with this.
Oh,
for free.
You don't have to buy extra. It's already included.
No,
as part of the deal, right?
It's included.
It's like Apple Care.
So you get that
it's
for
called
free.
Samsung Care, right? But what does it include? Like a 1 year or 2 year?
I think this is a 1 year for this one, so you get full year of Apple Care, Apple Care, but Samsung Care. I mean, I traded in this phone in a year, so I mean, I'm done.
Yeah,
right. So full year of Samsung Care that includes any repairs, fixes, and everything. It's basically like you break a screen, they'll do one free replacement for you, all that wonderful stuff, right? So taken care of.
The Samsung Care is how much normally?
I think for this phone it was like $149.
So you save yourself $149 already, right? Like that. Okay.
And then you save $100 with that coupon, so you basically get the phone for less.
All right. Price. Any more extra extra deals that go with this now? Tell me more.
Oh yes.
Tell me more.
So 2 offers. Let's just say that you want a new set of snazzy earbuds. Let's just say that you want the Galaxy 2 Buds 2 Pro. Okay, they look good. They have the 24-bit, 48 kilohertz. They look great. Yep, you could get those for half price, and you can also get a charging stand with them thrown in, and you also get half price on Samsung Care for them.
Half price
2 year
on the actual Buds with the standing charger, right? And Apple the Samsung Care as well included. What the hell?
So for 2 years for your wearable, right? Or, which is a segue to our next segment, let's talk about the Galaxy Watch 5.
Oh, you got the Pro as well?
So I'm not a watch guy. I got the Pro.
So you mentioned like you were thinking of watch.
This
you were
is the
thinking
Pro.
of getting the 5, right? But you upgraded to get the Pro, the Watch 5 Pro. Okay. Tell me the deal on that.
See, this is the fun part. So you could either do the Buds.
Right.
I already have a set. I already hate these enough. I'm going to wait
right.
till the next time. Okay, but they were also offering half price on any Watch 5.
5 or the 5 Pro.
Pro or the regular one.
Half price.
Yep. So this watch, a regular, like for just under $500
for that.
Half price.
And you get a half price.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
What's Samsung doing?
Right?
I think
Half price.
They're giving us
half
stuff away for
price.
free.
Half price.
They're like the Mr. Beast of the
They're
phones.
giving stuff away.
Oh my God.
Yeah. They're also giving away a dual charging pad.
Oh, the wireless.
So you get the watch component. Yep.
Qi charging
So
wireless
sides.
for the phone and the flip and the watch. You just plunk it on, right?
Yep. This guy. Yep.
How much do they retail for?
So this thing's like
100 and what?
119 bucks for this guy.
120 bucks.
Yeah, it has cooling.
Oh.
It has cooling on the bottom, so it's actually good.
Overclock, say cooling.
Right? So, yeah. So this
What
watch
the hell,
here,
Stephen? How much you paid for
first
all of this stuff now? I mean, come on. But before we mention the price, tell me more.
Oh, my total bill. My total bill.
Yeah.
My total bill for all of this stuff.
Hit me.
And this is with a 36-month, no interest.
Zero
plan.
interest.
So I'm obviously going to pay it zero interest for up to 36 months. You can choose 24 or 12, up to you. But my total bill after sending my original phone back on trade-in was $980.
For $980
for all
$980, how much monthly do you pay per month?
For the watch, $27.
$27.
Taxes in.
You get all of that. What you get for 36 months, 0% interest, $27 Canadian.
Yep.
For 36 months. Okay, what do you get for that price? What's included? Tell me. Total. What items you get?
You get the Watch 5. You get the Watch 5 Pro. You get the charging stand.
Standing
Pro
charge. Okay.
Watch 5 Pro. This is the one that's Bluetooth under $500. You get the charging stand that's $119. You get you get two of Samsung Care for watches, which is normally like $79 or something like that. So you get that for half price.
Yeah.
So let's just say $30. You also get the phone. You also get 512 gigabyte upgrade. So the maximum size of the phone. You also get Samsung Care included with that. So my original bill would have been $2,380 for $983.
Bloody hell. That's a good deal.
That's all taxes in.
And delivered.
And delivered. Free shipping.
Oh, man.
And guess what? When I pre-ordered, it arrived at my door 1 week before launch, which is this weekend.
Wow, you're getting the stuff for like a pre-launch. I mean, come on. I mean, that's a good deal. That is a good deal.
So should you get into this? Maybe if the offers are still good. I don't think the pre-order stuff is. Some of the pre-order stuff is off now. But if you still have that Samsung Galaxy Unpacked coupon, I would use it and put it towards that because that's $100 off as well too. So keep in mind that it would have been a bigger bill. It would have been over $1,000 if I had not had that coupon. And it's always pays to sign up for these Samsung Impact events because even if you don't want the phone, you can still get something nice for yourself, like a case or something else. Because all you need to do is spend like $100, $150. You get $100 off. You're spending $50 for a $150 item.
And the thing is, with big investment like this, I consider this as investment. Anything over like $800,
it is
investment, right?
Yeah.
You got to get the care. All right, whether it's Samsung Care, whatever care, because anything could happen, right? The screen, everything. Because if you haven't got that, it is expensive. Let me tell you, expensive to repair.
Oh yes,
and it's not. You have. I reckon it definitely have to get it right. Definitely.
The smartphone for me is for my work. If I don't have a smartphone, I am less able to do things that potentially make me money. Okay. So without a smartphone, I am less adaptable. I can't do social media. I can't stay up on the latest trends and everything. I can't see the new tools. I can't use the new tools, right? This is a tool for me. And it is the cheap, like, let's just think about it this way. In your house, Winston, how many things have you purchased that are very expensive that you use infrequently?
My camera right here, right? This is Sony 6400.
What else?
I've got, the capture card, which I got two actually. One spare just in case, right? And that's like $100, almost $200 anyway. So, so there's a lot of equipment I have, especially this laptop now. I have to have a spare one. If that goes, I got a desktop, but laptop is portable. So
you use something like that, maybe like I don't know, like you might use it every, so
I use it every day. I use it every day, definitely.
Let's just put it this way. the camera and the capture card you use twice a week. You record the podcast on this day, and you do the Funky Kid show the next day. So you use it twice a week.
Twice a week, at least.
Now, that stuff is fine. It's over $2,000 in gear. Now, think of a smartphone here. Smartphone, you use a minimum, and I have this lock screen that tells me how many times I open the phone. I use this phone. I open this phone 120 times a day. I use it 120 times a day.
They have something similar to Apple. It's called I think it tells you how much time you spend. Screen time, they call it. Screen time.
Yeah.
Oh, mate.
This is how
12, 13 hours a day.
Yeah. But this is cut up into sessions, right? Every time that you open it is one time that you've used it.
Yeah.
There is no device in your entire arsenal at home. I am certain of this, that you use more per use every day than this. So let's just take $1,000. You used it 100 times already, every single day for an entire year. What is your cost per use? It's pennies, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Right?
That's true.
So it's the cheapest thing that you can buy to use.
It's literally a content creating tool in your hand, right? It's got, like, right now, my streaming setup, I got a separate camera, I got a separate capture card, I got a laptop, I got a mic here, I got my headphones. That's all bundled into a little compact device that you carry with you. And you can start recording, stream live, or record and post it straight onto social media without having to import, export files and all that kind of shit. So it's definitely
a $5,000 laptop, a $10,000 workstation is not cheaper per use than this guy.
Yeah.
It's not.
Well, you've proven from your experience that you told us is like the stuff you could do with it. And now better battery life and better usage and stuff like that. So yeah, definitely. I'm really interested in the bespoke version because I want to check out the panels you can get with the different the plates and stuff like that. So make it more personalized. All right.
Yeah, I kid you not. That's going to be a very very cool
how much
device.
Do you think is extra? Do you think over the standard Flip, the Z Flip 4? How much?
Oh, you mean the bespoke?
Version,
I think it's the offer that they were doing, I think it was like a $50 difference, but you had to wait a couple more weeks.
Oh, because
they would give you a free case with it, though.
Oh, nice.
They would give you a clear cover.
Oh, nice.
So there was an offer to kind of offset that. You're willing to wait.
Yeah,
that's great.
$50.
You get a little bit back for that. I think also the trade-in value was higher on bespoke versions. I'm not sure, but that could change next year because I feel that what Samsung is doing right now with the Flip series is that they're trying to get as many out there as possible. They had 10 million foldable devices going into Samsung Impact as of August 10th. That was the number they announced. And then going through this, they want to double that number. I'm sure of it. Yeah. So this is a great way to do it.
I think what Samsung done the last couple of years with the foldables is that they want people to go into that ecosystem of foldable phones.
Yes.
Once you're in it, it's like how Apple keeps up with their customers, right? And they want to keep all of them retention and all that kind of stuff. So I think with that, you're already on the second phone on the foldables, right?
I'm already on the second phone.
Yeah. So once you're in it,
I like it,
and you like it, you got that experience. Then I think people will stay with it. And from what from what you've described and what you told me and tell viewers and that, I'm really interested. Definitely. All right. Is there anything else you need to add before we go on to the Watch 5 Pro?
I think that this is a good time to go on to the Watch 5 Pro because there are some fun things that the Watch 5 Pro and the Watch 5 do with the Z Flip 4. It does it with the Z Flip 3 as well too. Don't get me wrong. Now, like Apple, Samsung devices tend to work really well together.
Yes.
And one of the fun features for creators is the fact that on this watch, there is a camera control app that seamlessly turns on the camera in your phone.
Right.
So if you have this stuck in a tree somewhere and you want to activate it and take a photo of you on a bridge somewhere and then just turn it on, you can do that with your watch. So let me demonstrate to you really quickly. So let's just say that I am going to turn this thing on. I have a lock.
It's almost like a remote control. How Apple Watch
it is a remote control.
Works well with the Apple iPhone, right? So you can use that to do.
Oh, this is my old. Sorry, I got them mixed up. This is the Z Flip 3.
You're probably thinking, why is it not turning on?
Here's my Z Flip 4. Why is it not turning on? Because I have no battery in that one.
Right.
Okay. So here we go. So I've got the watch. I've got this. I'm going to unlock it. I'm going to turn on this camera app. So there's a camera app in here.
Right. You just switch it on the watch. Okay. And that kind of powers up the camera on the phone. Right?
Yep.
Yep. It's coming up. Oh,
Ta-da.
yeah, I see it. Cool. And that's all controllable on the watch. Yeah. That's amazing. So you can record video as well as take photos?
That's right.
Okay, cool.
So you can see my face in here, right? So I can take video, I can take photos.
Oh, so you can actually see what the camera's viewfinder is on your watch as well.
That's right.
Seriously?
Yeah, you got it. So that's why it's so cool. That's why it's so cool. That's why this works.
So you can actually see you can use the watch as a viewfinder. Is that what you're saying?
That's right.
What?
That's right. You got it. You got it. Right? See? I told you.
What? Okay.
So
okay.
it's in here. It's in here.
Wow. I can
right?
see it. I can see it now. Yeah.
So it's fantastic, and it'll change orientation based on your phone.
Oh, right. So it mirrors exactly what is on the phone.
That's right. That's right. Isn't that great?
That's really good.
So now you have a really and you can actually set a countdown timer as well too, so you can get into your pose and everything like that. 3 seconds is enough, and then you can just start recording your TikToks or getting that photo as it's overlooking. You can hide the phone away somewhere in the bush, but you've already set up that shot. You just need to get yourself into the shot, and then you're good to go. You've got your photo.
Amazing.
You've got your epic photo. And I know that this is something that you have. Like, this is not a new feature, but I like how it works with the Z Flip series
really well with all the
because you can do this. You can just sit it down on something. You don't need a tripod, right? It is so much more versatile to have something that sits on its own.
So you could be like 5 feet away, which on that screen you couldn't even see yourself, but you can watch. You can see yourself on the watch.
You can't see yourself here. That is correct, but you can watch here because you have to walk away to get those epic kind of vista shots.
That's right. So
I like this.
That makes sense. That makes sense, and that sounds really good. It works really well. Okay.
Yeah, and that's why Watch 4 or Watch 5 this year, if you were looking for a new watch and you were doing one of those pre-order deals, I mean, I myself, I knew that this feature existed. I wanted to try it on the Watch 5 Pro. I wanted better battery life, and we'll get into that in a second. But I just wanted the ability to create remotely because I always have to run away from this phone to get myself in the shot. And I have to kind of remember where I'm supposed to be to get that shot because I set the timer. I put my gesture up. I run away. I can't remember where I am. I have to kind of, it's a remote trigger and it's fantastic.
Yeah.
Love it.
I see what you mean. So
that's one of the things I love about having a Samsung watch in the ecosystem. These things work so seamlessly together. They're paired. They're paired very well. Same as with your Galaxy Buds 2. When you open these, same as with an Apple phone, you open it, it immediately takes care of the pairing process. You get the Samsung enhanced codec, so you get better quality audio as well too. So again, Samsung is doing their own thing to bring people into the ecosystem and keep them in, like the trade-in offers. I mean, it was very difficult for me to say no. Let's go back, get back to the watch here. All watches in the Samsung Galaxy 5 series have sapphire crystal.
Oh, nice.
I know this isn't something new, but it's so durable. You know that on your watches, that if this wasn't sapphire, it would scratch the heck out of it. It would crack, it would break, and your display would be useless. Pay to replace it.
Yeah.
Forget that. This is crystal. So done, right? Sapphire crystal.
Are you going to be that Jerry the blades?
I don't want to scratch my stuff. I bought this. This is mine. I'm going to take good care of it. All right. I'm taking good care of my stuff. All right. So that's one of the things that's great. Titanium. So it's a little bit lighter than the Watch 5. It's 45 millimeters. So it's not huge.
45 is a nice size.
But it doesn't have a bezel on the outside. Yeah. It's nice size.
Yeah.
Doesn't have a bezel though. So for a sports watch, it's very rare to see no bezel. But it's a virtual bezel that goes around the inside.
Oh,
so that's at least there.
And you can do like
if you're more of a
faces
Mariner person.
Like that.
Yeah. Oh yeah, totally. Tons of watch faces that are specifically activity driven. There's even a golf version of this watch if you want to look for it at some of the Golf Pro stores. But for me, cycling, running, there's watch faces specifically for those purposes. Mountain climbing, you have an altimeter in it. there's watch faces for every activity, and you can just download them and switch them as you need to. It's pretty neat that way.
Nice.
There's tons of activities that it doesn't, that it does track automatically, but there are things that it doesn't. Most smartwatches, if you wanted to track your workout specifically, you're going to have to go into the workout screen, which is easy to access, and then you just start your workout, good to go, right? It tracks your workout. If it doesn't track your workout, it'll track your steps and your calories by default. But it's nice to know how you're progressing in your workouts, and it tracks all that stuff as well too. Other things I really love about this phone, about this device, is the fact that it has your ECG, your blood pressure, your oxygen for when you're sleeping. It's been tracking my sleep over the last few days. Fantastic. It's gotten it right. It even tells me how much I snore and how my SpO2 levels are. So if I'm snoring too much, I'm not getting oxygen to my brain, I should probably roll over. So this has been very good for me as a health device.
The Pro version has an infrared, doesn't it? An infrared kind of detector.
Yeah.
So
so the infrared detector in this thing, as they said at Samsung's Unpacked event, it is something that we've added. We're excited about it, and we're working with developers to figure out what the heck we're going to do with it. I can add one thing.
Yeah.
One thing that it will do is that you know how Fitbit has a temperature sensor in it, and they've been using it for quite some time. They've been tracking people's temperature to kind of if you're getting sick, your temperature is going to go up.
Right.
And it's going to because your body regulates your temperature very well. If it goes up, chances are you're about to get sick. You should take precautions by drinking more orange juice or vitamins, etc., whatever you need to do, or rest.
Yeah, rest.
Your body is telling you something. That technology is going into WearOS, and hopefully we see an update to WearOS that will allow the Samsung Watch to utilize it as another data point to your health.
Right.
So I'm looking forward to that. I have a Fitbit. I've used it in the past. It is helpful. It was actually eerily accurate because I wasn't feeling well one time. It my temperature, and it actually did nail it. I knew I was getting sick. I felt something wrong. This just told me for sure that, yep, you're right. Take the day off.
That's something that people, because it's quite awkward, you don't know where to get a thermometer, right? If you're feeling sick, you want to measure your temperature. They got those ear measuring things,
Yes.
Those guns, but you're not going to find one if you're traveling or if you're somewhere else.
Yeah. It's also not on you all the time. It doesn't track your temperature changes throughout a certain period of time.
You switch it on to check your monitor, your temperature, and then you can find out whether you are getting sick or not. And
exactly.
With that data point, like you said, you can actually take a screenshot, whatever, send it virtually to your online doctor.
Or your HR department saying, hey, no, I was getting sick. Here's my temperature graph right here. I shouldn't have come into the office. But you made me, and now everyone's sick. It's my manager's fault.
Blame them. But talking about infrared, remember those remote controls that used to people? I mean, TV remote controls. People still use that, right? And that's based on infrared technology.
Yeah, isn't that a certain band of IR?
So you could actually use the watch to remote control your TV devices.
Well, I see the sensor over here. It'd be very awkward because it's up here. So you'd actually have to flip the watch around to do that. Now, speaking of flipping things around, one thing that's very annoying about this watch, okay? Now, this is a thick boy, right? I have the Spigen cover on it. It's silicone because I want to, make sure everything. It's a little bit slimmer than this normally but I protect everything. So this has a 590 milliamp hour battery. So let's get the big thing out of the way. I hate smartwatches because the battery dies.
Okay.
It dies fast.
590, is that enough? Tell me.
So this watch over here is another WearOS watch. I don't know what size the battery is. All I do know is that this battery lasts for a day and a half when you have everything on. I was not happy with it because a day and a half, halfway through the next day, you have to find a way to charge this thing. And it uses this weird proprietary cable. So I'm not going to be able to find something that I can't do anything with this. Trash. Actually, not trash, but it's not convenient. This watch, I got it on Friday. I didn't charge it until Sunday night. It's still at 17%
Sunday night,
left. Yeah. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, with 17% left.
3 days.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool.
It's pretty great. It's pretty awesome.
Everything, all the apps on, and
everything was on. it was monitoring my stress level. It was monitoring my my blood pressure. It was monitoring pretty much. I turned everything on. It's like, ooh, this is kind of neat. I'm going to turn everything on.
And you've been playing around with the remote for the camera and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I've been playing around with the remote for the camera. This has been a revelation because I know that Apple Watches do enjoy longer battery life than most watches. They also have an always on feature. I don't really need the always on, but like the fact that a WearOS watch will last up to 3 days, all the way up to the next third night. It's pretty incredible, right? Like I like that.
What I like about what you mentioned, the Watch Pro, the Watch 5 Pro or the Watch 5, is that it's wireless Qi charging. Right?
Yes.
So it means if you have a wireless Qi charging pad, you can charge the phone and the watch. You just plonk it on there and it'll charge. One thing I hated about the Apple Watch was that you need to get the stupid charging.
The compatible thing,
which is like, if you don't get one of those, if you don't pack one of those while you're traveling, you're knackered. You can't charge. You can't charge it. How the hell are you going to charge it without that little thing that clamps onto the phone?
Okay,
and it doesn't support wireless charging. That does.
So let's talk about pros and cons.
Right.
So out of the box, they give you a low puck. That's Qi. The problem with it is that it has USB-C on it. Only.
Okay,
it only has USB-C.
That's what a lot of people are going for these days. What USB-C?
It's true, but more places and battery banks will have USB-A on it. So at the very least, you should be giving me a USB-A connector on the end of it.
A to C. Right, okay,
correct.
Okay.
Or give me an adapter so I can do both. So charging with the stuff in the box, you might run into someone that doesn't have a single USB-C connector in his whole home to be able to charge. Now, I know that charging blocks are starting to come with them, but you might not come into contact with one of those if you only have USB-A, especially in the sockets in your home. They're all USB-A, right? So that was one of the pet peeves I had out of the box experience.
Right.
The second pet peeve was that I wonder if Samsung marketing actually thought about how this watch would sit on the charging pad. So let me show you.
Okay.
So this has a magnetic clasp, which is adjustable.
Okay.
It's better than having the links and everything, because then you need a tool and everything.
Yeah.
So I've opened this up. How the hell am I going to get this onto How am I going to get this onto a Qi charging pad? How?
But
how is this going to work?
It needs to face on the underside of the watch.
Tell me, how is this going to work? How? How is this going to work, Winston? I can't just walk around and hold. Look! I can't even get this to sit. Look! How's that going to work?
So it doesn't charge with the face down. It has to be on the underside of the phone.
That's right. So the sensors and everything and the Qi charging pad are underneath.
Did
someone think about this?
Yeah, they need.
Okay, so my question is, and this is probably someone else's question on YouTube, is how do I charge a Galaxy Watch 4 or Watch 5 on a flat Qi charging pad? I'm going to give you the answer to that.
Oh,
it's like this.
Okay, tell me.
So, see the watch?
Yeah.
This is the problem right here, right?
Right.
The rest of it's flat.
Yeah, okay. Oh, you just flip it. What?
Yep. You just flip it, close it.
It does that.
Just kind of, it does that.
And you can just...
So, again, you can't do this with a stainless steel band.
Yeah.
So it doesn't work that way, right?
With the rubber straps that does it. Okay. The silicone strap. Okay.
Have a nice day.
Oh, nice.
Look, red, charging.
Nice. That's
charging.
There you go. You've answered my question. All right.
Yep.
And a lot of other viewers and you. And yeah, that's.
So this is how you get a Qi charging Galaxy Watch or any Android watch to charge on a flat surface. As long as you don't have a band that is not flexible, you can flip it around just like what I did here.
Yeah.
And drop the flat pad onto the charging pad. That's how you do it.
Yeah. Nice.
I know that this is not intuitive. I wish that Samsung would have thought about this before putting an offer together with a charging pad that's flat. This is not intuitive.
But hey, that's still better than Apple Watch with their charging dongle thing. Without that, you're knackered. It doesn't even do wireless Qi charging.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, wireless charging is here. It works. I wish it didn't have to be this way, but I recognize the fact that, you know, like this is at least a step in the right direction.
Okay. Right. So Apple.
So pro tip.
I mean the Watch 5, the Watch 5 Pro. That's what you have.
Yep.
Okay. So you got all those nice gadgets from Samsung now. I'm jealous. Anything more to anything more to add before we close up now? Tell me more.
I wonder how, like, why do you like male models like pose like this? I mean, they're not even wearing the watch. I'm like,
let me try the pose. How did they do it?
It's like I'm not wearing the watch. Am I thinking about wearing the watch? I'm thinking about wearing the watch.
I think it's
okay.
To do with the,
my bottom line for the Watch 5 Pro is that if you have a Watch 4, it's probably not a great upgrade for you. It already is going to get new software. It's going to work great. The battery life is probably not as good as a 590 milliamp hour battery, which is pretty incredible. It's like full 3 days, and I've pushed everything on. Everything is on this phone, on this device. So I'm pretty impressed. I'm probably going to turn a few things off, and it'll probably last me another day. So overall, as far as a non-watch wearer, and I'm not a watch wearer. I'm not like you, Winston, where I actually want the watch on my hand. I don't like it. I don't like having something attached to me. I think that it's been a very interesting experiment, and I'm going to continue with it because I got a Fitbit because it was smaller, it was lighter, but it wasn't functional. It didn't do anything else. Yeah. So I'm going to enjoy this, and you know, like, I am trying to exercise a little bit more. I have been skateboarding, so I want to track those workouts and see what's going on with my weight and my health and everything like that. So I think the durability of this device, the usefulness of this device, the crystal is going to help me out when I crash.
And the water resistance, right?
Oh yeah, for sure. This is IP rated. It's going to.
100 meters?
I don't know how many atmospheres it is.
Probably 100 meters,
but
at least.
Yeah, I'm not going to go 400 meters, but at least it's going to go 400 meters if I drop it in the ocean.
Yeah, if it's 100 meters.
One cool feature is that if you do drop it in the water and it's gone deep and it's been there for a while, you actually there's a water mode, ejection mode. So it'll actually shut everything off and shake the water out of it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's in here. It knows that it's going to protect itself, preserve itself, as long as you use those modes to, you know, get it dry. It's going to be a great device.
Right.
I mean, I'm not a watch guy, but I'm kind of starting to really like this device, and the fact that it's a remote control for my camera. That was kind of the coolest, funkiest feature that I found that worked really well for me. I'm going to really enjoy using that feature. I think it's something that I didn't realize would be so useful.
Yeah, it's not just the watch; it's the whole package, right? I mean, you got
the whole package.
You got the phone, you got the watch, so everything works well together. It's
Galaxy
Samsung's ecosystem, right? Yeah, and the Galaxy's ecosystem. So that's something that people are getting themselves involved with, and I think
I forgot.
Yeah, tell me
one thing that I forgot.
Yeah.
This the Galaxy Z Flip series supports it supports PowerShare.
PowerShare.
Forgot.
Oh, you mean like just sharing?
Watch.
Oh, so you can charge your own devices wirelessly.
I can charge my watch. I forgot about this.
Oh, hey, nice,
look at that.
Nice.
So I can charge my watch.
That's excellent. I mean, yeah. So I mean, I've heard stories where people haven't got a USB cable or whatever.
Yeah.
And no restaurants or any places have got the ports for charging.
Yeah.
And you're desperate, like, you know, the phone or the watch, whatever, is dying. So you just plonk your phone on there, give it a charge.
I can do this now. Hey, look at that. I figured it out. All right.
Nice.
So pro tip again, you know, if you want to charge your Galaxy Watch 5 or Watch 5 Pro and you can't get it to sit on a flat Qi charging pad and you have a Galaxy Z Flip 4 or Z Flip 3, just flip it around, turn on PowerShare, and you can charge
exactly. See, those features, right? You will never find those features on the Apple because, again, Samsung already had that like 2 years ago. Yeah,
Samsung is a bunch of engineers.
They have
all they do is
all these new features, yet Apple haven't got none of that. And then when they do have it, that's like 2 years later or 3 years later.
Yeah, well, they wait for what the audience kind of wants. Like they let Samsung do all of the failing.
Yeah,
until they figure out what works, and then they go and then they reinvent it.
I tell you what, though, the foldable ecosystem that Samsung have created with the Galaxy Z Flip series, I tell you what, though, that's catching on like a wildfire. I've seen all the superstars now starting to use it, and it's that, you know, people look up to the stars, the celebrities, right? If they see they're following the celebrities, they're using it, they will go for it. Fans are crazy, especially gaming esports fans, right? I know that they're crazy. If they see someone using something, they'll go for it. And same with celebrities. If they start using these foldable phones from Samsung, they'll go for it. I tell you what, if Apple's not careful, Samsung could take a big chunk from all the users from Apple. So you never know.
And you know what's even better? This is a branding exercise for them, for Samsung as well too. There's no way that Samsung cannot be associated with folding devices. If Apple goes out and creates a folding device,
like
guess
copying.
What? They're the copycats.
Yeah, copycat.
They're immediately a copycat.
Yeah.
They're not original at that point. So whatever Apple does, it better not be a folding device because we caught you.
But not just that. if they do make a foldable phone, people might not even get it because it's associated with Samsung, right? And people say, okay, I want a foldable phone. I see my favorite celebrity using it. I want to be in it. I want to buy it. So where? Samsung is the only one that can offer that experience.
Yeah.
Whereas Apple, if they'll just be another candy bar phone, which people, well. They got to do something.
Of course, you know, we'll see something about that very soon because we have the latest WWDC event, Apple event coming up in September sometime. You know, but until then, we have flips, and of course, you know, if you have any questions at all, definitely leave them in the comments. So, if you are looking for the best flipping smartphone on the market right now, the Galaxy Z Flip by any measure is the one to get. It's the one to beat.
Get it.
If you have a Galaxy Z Flip 3 right now, and you know, again, just to paraphrase again, it's a harder decision in some cases to power user like I am, where the battery life really, really matters. Do the upgrade, get the upgrade offers. You won't regret it. It's going to be something that you're going to love using more times in the day than waiting for it to charge. And, you know, like, I can't say enough. This has been a really fun revelation. So, and I like to watch too. Yeah. I like to watch. I like how it works.
You definitely made me consider. I will get it. It's just a matter of time. Whether I'll get it for Christmas, but I don't know. Well, I'll come back to Canada next week, so I'll probably get it.
Get some deals. I have influenced you. And speaking of influencing, if you have any questions while I'm wearing around the Galaxy Watch 5 Pro or using the Samsung Galaxy Z or Z Flip 4, I am Canadian by the way, so I will say Z on purpose because that's how I say it. Make sure you hit me up on Instagram. I'm at Stephen Fung, or Twitter at Stephen Fung. Ask me any questions. If you're on the fence and you're wondering one specific thing, I can check that out for you. Do let me know. Also, Winston, how can people find you and stalk you?
You can find me on Twitter at Winston Chim and also Instagram at Winston Chim. So most of the stuff on there are not tech related. Most of them are lifestyle stuff. But yeah, do check it out. I have an interesting item that I could show you later on. Is to do with like those watch straps, the new ones. But anyway, we'll talk about that in the next show. So.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Winston. That's all the time we have for our podcast show this week. Make sure you leave your comments below and subscribe so Winston and I can let you know right away when the next show drops, which is every Wednesday. I'm out. Peace.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye.